riding that staff, they come for me. Try me if you wanna, I'm covered by the grace of God. Glory to the King. Glory be to the King. For God so loved the world, he gave his son. God so loved the world, he gave his son. Whosoever liveth in him shall not perish, but live forever. Who shall believe in him shall not perish, but live forever. It's been a long time coming, long road that I'm running, they can't take it from me. I done put that work in, they tryna play me like a dummy. It always be the ones you ain't think gon' switch on you. They ain't loyal, they ain't friends, they try to take what's mine, I still win. Yea, though I walk through the valley, the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Try me if you wanna, I'm covered by the grace of God.
Welcome to turning a moment into a movement.
Just little light of mine, I'm gon' let it shine. I'm gon' let it shine. Just little light of mine, just little light of mine, I'm gon' let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gon' let it shine. I'm gon' let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gon' let it shine. I'm gon' let it shine. Oh Lord, just let it shine. This light of mine, this light of mine. Oh Lord, would you please just let it shine. Take the drama out of my life. Oh Lord, every night the pain ain't right. I wake up at night, I never sleep. 26, 10, and 7, that's just me. Every day I need a little seed. I need a little fresh air, man. I need to breathe. All I know is trauma. All I know is tickets. All I know is no visit. All I know is a mission to get straight up out of prison. Lord have mercy for it. Lord have mercy on my people. Preacher Mary Washington and all my real. Lord have mercy with my people. I pray to God, we really need you. When I was down bad, when things weren't going right, every time I prayed at night, I put my hands up in my face. I said, Lord have mercy, little light of mine. Lord God, please let it shine. It's the drama that I live in my life. I swear to God, I was a bad guy every night. 10 toes down, salute. Everybody suffering, everybody who trying to make a way. Everybody looking for the sky, everybody looking for that piece of pie. In a law library, I know what that feel like. Hoping that somebody get active and involved in your situation. Man, pop your collar and pray. Cause Lord have mercy on my soul. And they make bad guy father get out soon. And the rest of those brothers who be mobbing to child these mornings. Oh man, I ain't going to this afternoon. Man, I'ma miss dinner today. I got a couple noodles. Hey, you know what that feel like? Do you know what it is? And if you a victim of a wrongful conviction, suffered and served by Ken Worthy, then I know that you know what that pain feel like. And your mama know what that pain feel like. Your father know what that pain feel like. With that light, let that little shine. Let that light shine, a little light of mine. Bad guy, Doughboy Week, all these great people in this great world of ours. 10 toes down, salute. I appreciate you, bad guy. I appreciate you, Week. I appreciate the tech. I appreciate everybody in the studio. We gon' pop off that LV. Ooh-wee. Cause that's what they be liking to see. But I hope you hear the missing when you see me fresh. Salute.
Greetings, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight on Turning a Moment into a Movement. I'm your host, J Love, and I also represent the Justice for Gerard movement. Gerard is my son who was wrongly convicted of a crime he didn't do, innocent, and he went to prison for that crime. So because of that journey with Gerard and all the experiences I had with those who were also fighting for a wrongful conviction of a loved one, I created this platform called Turning a Moment into a Movement to educate our community about wrongful convictions and how they happen and the injustice also that happens in our community. So thank you for joining us. I want to say hello to those who are joining us, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Yay, hey everyone. And also, those who might be listening later or who will listen later on your favorite podcast platform. Thank you for joining us this evening. Our mission here at Turning a Moment to a Movement is to bring awareness to all that are impacted from being wrongly convicted, over sentenced, mentally ill, and medically frail in our communities. To inspire, organize, and educate all communities about the needs to disrupt systems, policies, and patterns of the criminal legal system that leads to a wrongful conviction. That's why we're here every Friday, you guys. So, yeah, thank you for joining us. This night is going to be a great conversation. After the week we had, it's just going to be more like a summary as well, but it's also I'm just asking everyone to just join in with us on this conversation. I'm going to bring on the panel and let them introduce themselves, and then we're going to get with the topic of the night, which is surviving women's Huron Valley, the brutal reality of women incarcerated and women, with our guest, Dr. Shawanna Vaughn. So with that being said, I'm going to start with Reverend Tia. Hey, Reverend Tia. Turn your mic on.
I'm just a talking. Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be here tonight, J Love. I'm telling you, what I want to say to you personally is job well done, even though we're not done. And thank you for all that you do.
Well, thank
And
you.
thank you for being that voice and all the others who are going to be joining me. Uh, Survivors Speak, CEO. Oh, well, that's getting ready to change to it. Trisha Duckworth. She gonna stay at the helm. She's at the helm of so much and has a voice out here that has been fighting for wrongfully convicted for a long time. And
Yes.
along with others that will be joining us tonight. And so my goal tonight, if I try to set a goal each time, and I'm my goal, and I hope people can join me in this, and that is to start new. Act like you don't know nothing. Let the information come in. And those of you who have been affected by or traumatized by Huron Valley, please get in touch with Turning a Moment into a Movie. Thanks,
Yes.
Jay. I am the narrative transformer of the choice zone. And if you want to make a change in your own life personally or collectively as an organization, just give your sister a holler. Thank you.
Reverend Tia, thank you for saying that. They can email us
Yeah.
at turning a moment into a movement at gmail.com. Yeah,
Yes,
thank
we
you.
need that. We need these stories.
Yes. So next, Trisha.
What up, though? How y'all
How are
doing?
you? Hey, Lisa.
I am blessed in spite of all the mess.
I know
Uh,
that's
I'm grateful. I'm tired, yet I feel energized to keep moving forward. Um, and I'm grateful because we are literally watching a moment turn into a movement right
yeah.
before our eyes. And I think people don't understand. They think that's a one-time thing. That's a ongoing event. It
Mm-hmm.
happens in the life of an individual. It can happen in the community, no matter what it is. You can turn your own moment into a movement. All it takes is just for people to believe. And it's something about that one band, one sound movement that aligns. And so I'm grateful for alignment on tonight and just grateful to be on the front lines with you all. It's an honor, the battle. And yes, I say battle because it is a battle. Because this demon don't want to fall, but you know how many know we got power over that. We just got to keep moving forward and doing the work until it manifests. And I just want to encourage those that are praying about it. Keep praying. But if you don't do something more than pray, I don't know if that's going to serve us any good. You know, this type of movement is something that's called all hands on deck, doing whatever we can do, including prayer and
Mm-hmm.
declarations to manifest freedom for Krystal Clark and so many others. So, Jay, thank you for this platform and all that you do, Reverend Tia, everybody. Um, just thankful to be here.
Yeah. Thank you, Trisha. That's the new kid on the block. Hey.
Hello. How y'all doing tonight?
We good. How are you, Leslie?
I am I'm blessed as well. Um so much to think about tonight. I'm grateful. Um I'm grateful for the progress. Um at least getting the awareness out. All the um all the naysayers to even say that this was in our head and stuff, even just having that um the pushback there,
Mm-hmm.
which is why as many times as we can share her photo. Thank you, Trisha, for the shirt. because this is not normal. And so, introduction, not nothing much. I'm here as representative for I founded the Elbert Williams Voting Corner, and Elbert Williams was the first voting rights martyr to be killed in the line of duty, and he um, saw that there was better on the other side of the vote, but not just at the vote. You know, everywhere um, we should use our voice and demand justice. He was also somebody who pushed for better treatment, you know, at work and everywhere he was, and um, and thought that the dignity, the right to be treated with dignity, didn't stop because you got in trouble or anything like that. And you know, at the time, this was in 1940, black men, this I think it was until late 50s, black men could not even go inside the courthouse. So you know, we're shut out of the whole system, not even to pay taxes. They'd have to have a woman go pay their taxes. So we have we have um, a friend of mine said, well, some people are trying to regain their freedoms. For black folks, freedom has only ever been a theory. And so while that may seem heavy, it also is exciting to me because it feels like we can dream together and build our own liberation.
Yeah,
So
yeah, you're right, Leslie. We can. We are building our own liberation. Yes. Well, thank you, Leslie. The other new kid on the block, Marcus, is in California training with Mass Live. So we have a guest who's not really a guest, but yeah, he's taking Marcus' place tonight. Hi, Mark Craighead.
Hey, how y'all doing today?
We're great. How about yourself?
I am blessed and highly favored.
Mark, introduce yourself and tell those who never met you before what it is who you are and what it is that you do.
I'm Mark Craighead. I'm my organization's name is Freedom Ain't Free. I am an exonerated person from the University of Michigan Innocent Clinic. I did 7.5 years, and I'm fighting the same fight that everybody else is fighting on this podcast. I want to get some of these innocent victims out of prison and get them back on the streets because it's a lot of them.
Mm-hmm. More than you think, more than we even realize.
one is too many.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one is too many. One is too many. If you go you go to that seminar they have every year, it's growing. I mean, they had 5,000 this year. That's all over the country. That and you say one is too many. That's 5,000 exonerees. Some of them cheated death row. So um, it's a lot of us still in there. Like the young lady that you're talking about right now. She's serving some time for a crime she didn't commit, which is brutal. being a, being an inmate at one time, that's brutal because
Mm-hmm.
not only are you suffering physically, but internally knowing that you haven't did this crime.
Yeah. Yeah. And Terry says, and the other thing, some people are in prison for just weed, and they definitely deserve a second chance. I agree, Terry. I absolutely agree. So, with that being said, we're going to bring on the guest, the wonderful, the powerful Dr. Shawanna Vaughn. Yeah.
Good evening, everybody. I am so grateful to be here with all of you amazing boots on the ground people. Um, and thank you, Jay Love, for creating a platform to have this amazing conversation.
Yeah. Yes. So let's just get on into it, Dr. Vine. Oh, before we do, and just let people know who you are, where they can find you at.
Yeah, so the name of my organization is called Silent Cry Inc. And you can find me over every platform at Silent Cry Inc. So
Yes. So,
Thank you.
Shawanna, when we're talking about surviving Huron Valley, I know you done heard all the stories. Uh, we have been together with you and with rallies. Let's talk about it.
I think the conditions are deplorable. And I think if they were cats and dogs, the Humane Society and the SPCA would have turned Huron Valley on its head.
Mm,
But because they are mainly made up and comprised of women of color, there's no conversation. And it is inhumane and it is undignified and it's actually horrific. And no one should be in those conditions. I don't care what their crimes are, I don't care what they did. Everyone deserves dignity. And because the Department of Corrections mission statement says they are there to rehabilitate and treat, then they failed. They failed their own mission statement. Krystal Clark is an epic failure of any correctional system in America. This woman is literally one foot in the grave and one on a banana peel. And I am so glad that Trisha and J Love are her advocates. And I'm so glad that she has the rest of us. And I'm so glad that she's getting news attention and people across the country are starting to see her because this is not okay. Along with several other women, like, this is not okay.
yeah,
And I just wish that the correctional union would stand up and step up because the guards are doing time too. And they're going to leave with the same health conditions from the same mold. They're going to get the same cancer, the same MRSA, the same everything. I wish they understood that their lives are at stake too.
now that's a
But the
word.
but the paycheck has them fooled. But if you're
Mm,
in the same element, you're going to get the same conditions. As I was in Huron Valley and I was left with lung cancer and ovarian cancer, so were the guards. So much so till they closed it down and reopened it 6 years later for men because those correction officers got the same cancers and the same effects years later, but they got them. And so will the people of Huron Valley.
mhm, yeah. Um, Speaking of the correctionals, there were correctional officers that worse have gotten sick, have quit. Even people who work in the clinics, they have gotten sick and quit. But that's, they're keeping it silent. But since this article came out, people have been reaching out, talking about their experiences and their illnesses at Huron Valley. Some goes back as far as the 80s. This place been this is new, not new.
It's
It's
a
just
death
new
trap.
to people. Just hearing it. As a matter of fact, the nickname of it is the Valley of Death.
Mm, 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 mm.
Hold on, Mark. You're muted.
You shine the light on something, all the roaches scatter and everything else like that. This is like you said, this is affecting not only Krystal Clark, but it's every inmate in there, and all the guards and all the personnel in there. So they knew about it for years. It's not only the paycheck; it's they're scared to say anything. Um, Now that the light is on them, uh, you know, y'all ladies know when we did protest, once the heat is off, they go back down to normal, you know, and that's what they're waiting on. So you can't let the heat off of this subject. because this young lady deserves to get her life back, which she'll never have again. But at least she can be outside. She can be out in the public trying to maintain.
Go ahead, Leslie. Oh, okay. I thought you was trying to say something. I'm going to play the video for those who haven't seen it.
What I wanted to ask was, I was looking up Dr. Vaughn's act about the post-traumatic prison disorder. I wanted you to explain. I wanted you to talk a little bit about that, but if it's fine after the video too.
Okay, let's play the video.
Who's a grandmother isn't getting proper medical help for a black mold infection. Fox News' Brandon Hudson has these details.
My breathing. I feel like I'm about to call them.
She was really out of breath. She was asking for a breathing treatment.
Local activist Jay Love shared part of her most recent phone conversation with inmate Krystal Clark. Both Love and Trisha Duckworth from Survivor Speak have fought to get clemency and better medical care for Clark, who's been at the Women's Huron Valley Correctional Facility since 2012. Take a look at the photo of Clark from the beginning of her sentence to how she looks now, with half her face looking droopy. The activist claimed Clark has a black mold infection. Krystal's a mother, she's a grandmother, but give me your emotions when you hear that she is being treated less than.
I see dogs that are treated much more better than the women that are being, not even just the women, Michigan Department of Corrections as a whole.
Krystal has a clemency application for sitting on the governor's desk right now. And so we're begging the governor to please look over that, to grant her clemency so she can get the proper health care outside of MDOC.
In a statement, a spokeswoman for the Michigan Department of Corrections said MDOC can't share health information of its inmates, but they routinely inspect their facilities. The statement also said in part, quote, "We take the health care of incarcerated individuals very seriously and provide a consistent community standard of care, which includes access to on-site medical staff, outside specialists when needed, and quality medications and medical equipment." Clark's accusations are the latest in a list of troubling allegations against Women's Huron Valley Correctional, including a $500 million lawsuit over the mistreatment of inmates by officers.
I can't help my sister. I can help somebody else's, but I can't even help my own. It hurts.
Taronda Clark is Krystal's sister. She's a nurse who feels helpless that she can't get help for her sister.
To hear my sister complain about people who are in the medical field who are not helping her just because she's incarcerated or won't give her the proper health care, it's very heartbreaking. Every time that she calls and she sings now, she's always singing about God.
Survivor Speak will hold a rally for Krystal Clark on June 20th in Ypsilanti. If you would like to help their cause, we'll include their QR code on our website, fox2detroit.com. Brandon Hudson, Fox 2 News.
Go ahead, Shawanna.
Wow. That was very disturbing. To see her ear and to see that mole. We no longer can act like we don't see the problem. Wow.
You know, Krystal has been fighting for a long time. She was tested. They tried to cover it up and say it's eczema, all kinds of crazy stuff. But there are medical records that says that she has been tested for mold in her right and left ear. That's what you see that's growing out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And in her lungs. They know this. So many people know this. But they rather say that she's crazy than give her help. They rather take her. They took a walker. They rather punish her, to get her to quiet down and not speak out about what's going on, than get her help. Like, I don't even understand why they're so vested into not helping her. Then just get her help.
because it's prison. And unfortunately, I can attest to the people who are treating her the worst are the people that look like her.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
You're right about
That
that.
that is what I can attest to in my 6 years in the Department of Corrections in California. The worst people look like me and had a point to prove. And they are syndromes of the Willie Lynch letter. And that is why her treatment has been so rough.
And you don't want to open. They don't want to open up Pandora's box.
No.
You get us some treatment. You speak up on it. You saying it's probably hundreds of people in there that feel the same way she feel. So you get them all to speak up at the same time. You got this power in numbers.
Hmm.
She's the only one that's speaking up. You're the only one speaking up for her. You brought it to the light. Now people are coming out saying they've been treated the same way. You're about to open up something very wicked that's been covered for years.
Mhm.
So ain't nobody gonna jump up and especially that's at that facility. I'm talking about officers or wardens. They're not gonna jump up and say we've been like this for years. We fighting the same fight about the lady that threw me in jail. They're not gonna give her up. They're not gonna say that she was wrong and she shouldn't have did that to me and Lamar Monson, Justly Johnson, and Kendrick Scott. They're not gonna say that because one thing about it, Kim Worthy will never admit to anything wrong, and the Department of Justice ain't either. So if you're expecting that to happen, hell gonna freeze over before that happens. So
Mm-hmm.
what you're doing now is you're bringing light to the story, like I just told you, and you're about to open up a can of worms. I mean, they're hidden for a long time. Top Todd Flood thought he had a heck of a case with the viewing of the ladies naked and everything else. This is far worse.
Yeah.
Far worse.
Mhm.
And same
And
facility too.
I think Shawanna hit it too, and Mark, you as well, hit it right on the nail, and that is they don't regard them as human.
Nope.
And the fact that, Terry had just said, but they're human beings, and they are. We recognize that they're humanity. But we have a whole system that does not recognize their humanity. And when I say, continuing to move forward, continuing to press, continuing to tell the story, in spite of people coming against Survivors Speak and turning a moment into a movement, and all the people who are speaking out right now against us. And Krystal herself, out of all the consequences, she is the one who bears all of the brunt of the consequences behind bars that we can't see. And they should feel a sense of they should I don't even know if there's a word that's going to be nice for me to put on this platform, but they should feel inadequate as leaders to have allowed this to happen. And the longer the clemency paperwork, the appeal, and everything sits up there on that desk, that is tragic. Just tragic when you can do something now. And when you talk about the abuse of power and authority that the guards have, and the culture of control and dehumanization, and this is what they're dealing with. The officers have a culture of control. They don't care if they're doing the right things or not. They prioritize security and control over rehabilitation. Nobody's being rehabilitated. So the guards are encouraged to view inmates or view people that are incarcerated as less than human. It is in their culture to do that. And they normalize aggression and indifference and cruelty. The sad thing is, if we had these same types of demeanors in society, we would probably be arrested. We would be probably known as aggressive people. And you're right. That's right. That's why I corrected myself, Shawanna. There are no inmates or convicts or felons. I said people that are incarcerated. And I corrected myself. And I want to show that correction because we need to stop calling people that. First of all, we got too many people that are behind bars that are not supposed to be there. And we ourselves dehumanize people by making them one word.
Come on. Language is so important. And
It
it's
is.
one reason I'm about to drop a whole language bill that I
Yes.
drafted because I am utterly overly tired of even formerly incarcerated people calling somebody an inmate. I've never seen an inmate. There is no convicts, and I don't know any felons. When we all got incarcerated, we had names, birthdays, and birth certificates. That's it.
Right.
And we cannot expect other people to humanize us when we use white oppressors' verbiage.
Mhm.
Mm.
That's right.
And this is why Krystal and nobody else is being humanized because we have not pressed to amend the 13th.
Mm.
And I implore you today, Kimberly Edwards has a bill to amend the 13th and take slavery out of rotation. And I am begging everybody to support that because it changes incarceration in this state for African Americans the most.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And we have, listen, they legislated us into this.
Mhm.
Joe Biden and Bill Clinton legislated us into the biggest mass incarceration plantation farm ever. And it's going to take us to legislate our way out
Mhm.
and to support people's legislation. That makes sense. I have a bill called post-traumatic prison disorder because I don't know anybody who has went to prison and came out mentally well. They're not.
Mhm.
We are all affected by something that happened in prison because
Mhm.
everybody can handle their terrain,
Mhm.
but there's no assimilation to get us ready for prison. And right now, I'm looking for a new sponsor, and Stephanie Young is going to be my co-sponsor. But I implore you to support post-traumatic prison disorder because it depends on how people come home. And what do you want your neighbors and your children and your family to be like? Because I'm asking that there's oversight after people are incarcerated by the Senate and the Assembly and a regular committee. Because 14 days upon incarceration, I'm asking that people be evaluated by trauma informed biopic therapists. Because we're not going to be talking about African Americans and minorities leave prison and we're letting white people be the therapists. Unacceptable and unequivocally not happening. Because if you haven't had any trauma, you can't assess mine.
Mm. Mm.
That's
Mm.
right.
And I'm mandating that the guards be mandated to therapy because they create harm as we currently are watching in real time.
Mhm.
Because they are in an environment that creates harm. And the statistics and the data shows that police and correctional officers have the highest domestic violence at home and suicide rates.
That's right.
And they go to work and they take it out on the people that they are took an oath to watch and do no harm. And this is why Krystal and the other women and MDOC is in the shape it's in. Because nobody's holding anybody to a standard. And now what people should know is when we're asking the legislators who used to could be able to go into prison without notice, me and Jay Love and Trichet were on the call with the ombudsman. Now they have to have 72-hour notice so they can go fix it. That's what the legislature did while nobody was paying attention. Gave the MDOC everything they wanted with nobody to check them.
And can we say, and I'm gonna let Trisha take this over. They wake them up at 3 o'clock in the morning when they do want to come in there and have them painting over the mold. Go ahead, Trisha.
First of all, let me say this, right? Because a lot of our legislators were like, oh my God, our powers were removed. We asked you to pop up when you had the power and you didn't do it. So I think we really got to get clear on what role some of these legislators are playing in being complicit to what is going on. They're all aware. They've been made aware. I know specifically since 2022, when Shawanna called us to the front lines, we've been sounding the alarm ever since. Those powers were just removed in December. So you could have popped up at any time. Why wasn't her word enough? I wrote a poem one time called Why Isn't Our Black Pain Enough? It never seems to be enough. And then I don't care how much pain is imposed upon Black women. It's like we're just supposed to take it. Chin up, shoulders back, and accept pain as our friend. Imagine that. Carrying the weight of pain around your neck with no help, nobody to lift a finger, nobody to really care. Because what happens is that unfortunately, a lot of people don't know about this. Let me say that. There are people that don't know what's going on. But we know as prisons, why aren't we concerned with what's going on in prisons that are right in our backyard? I don't understand. And okay, because we got a whole bunch of people running around here talking about they want to be just like Jesus. Jesus loved the prisoner. Jesus loved the low man. Jesus would be helping Krystal Clark. Jesus wouldn't be sitting up in the church praying for Krystal and doing nothing else to help. I say it all the time, and I will say it today. If all you're going to do is pray, never mind. Because that really bounces off heaven if you don't put the actions. And if you don't believe me, look at the Bible. The Bible is clear, right? Faith without works is dead. It's dead. Meaning your prayers, if all you're doing is praying, is dead. We need you to do more than pray. We need people to stop just sitting around and acting like it's not a problem. Because guess what? It could be your problem one day. Then what you gonna do? You're gonna be woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning, scrubbing mold off these walls. This shit been going on for 3 years, literally, of them making women scrub that mold off that wall and them painting over it. This gotta stop.
There's actually a lawsuit presently going on right now because the women was cleaning up and doing all kinds of stuff and wasn't getting paid for it. I mean, you're only paying them 17 cents or whatever a day, and you didn't even want to give them that. Literally treating them as slaves. Literally treating them as slaves.
Because of the 13th Amendment, we're 3/4 or 3/5 a human. And so nobody talks about it. Nobody talks about the best jobs in prison is a $17 a month check. prison commissary has not been overhauled in like 30 years. And it goes up with inflation. In COVID, toilet paper went up because they told them it was a toilet paper shortage. Soap is high. Everything is high. And the pay is low.
Mm.
And so nobody is having this conversation that women are going to prison at 19% times the rate of men. Like, these are not conversations being had. But in reality, there needs to be a Shut Huron Valley campaign. Like, this should not be a discussion any further. There are 11 empty prisons in this state. And nobody is calling to close Huron Valley. There is decent places to put human beings. There is a design firm in Oakland who creates criminal justice habitat spaces. This governor is her last term. And we need to put a human chain around her office and press her to do the right thing. Because like Trisha said, faith without works is dead. And we talk about our ancestors, but we don't want to be our ancestors. Because being them means we are willing to go to jail, be beat, and die. And we want everything to be microwave and popcorn, and we are not microwave and popcorn activists. So in this moment, what are we willing to lose or give for freedom? For real. Like, I'm done. What are we really willing to sacrifice in real time? Because I'm tired of playing. And I'm tired of everybody writing letters. Without sacrifice, there will be no freedom. There will be no equality. We're going to have to give up something and hold our ground, or we're going to get nothing. Do y'all see how many men are being exonerated and released to the number of 0 women? What are we willing to sacrifice for freedom? And I
That's
don't mean watching the march over the bridge of John Lewis. So I don't want to play with nobody else. I don't even want to pray. I'm Malcolm, the ballad of the bullet. What we gonna do? Because we are here. And there's a price for freedom. My hashtag is freedom is not free. So y'all got to figure out what you want to surrender for freedom.
shout out to Freedom Ain't Free on the line tonight.
Freedom ain't free.
That's free advertisement for us.
That's the name of their organization, Shawanna. Freedom Ain't Free.
Well, that's my hashtag. So I give you shots out every day.
Yeah.
It's not
Well,
free, y'all.
it ain't free. I mean, the problem with society right now, when I was incarcerated, nobody believed that there was innocent people in prison. And it took a long time to finally let these men go, but you had people that had to prove it that these men were innocent. And the same thing's going to have to happen to these women. And there's a lot of people out there think that, okay, you did the crime, lock them up and throw away the key. But there are innocent people that are in prison. I'm one of them. It took a hell of a fight to get out. I mean, you got to strap your boots on and you got to fight every day. They ain't gonna give you shit. I mean, even if you prove that you innocent, they ain't giving you nothing. The price of freedom is your life, really, because you got to put your life on the line and do it. Now, the different part about this is what we doing on the outside to get these people free. This is a life-changing experience for me, and it's dangerous. Okay, we're going totally against the system and telling them you're incarcerating some people that are innocent, and it's a lot that can come back and bite us, but You know, I had a dad that did it for me, and some of these guys and women don't have no family. They can't do it. So if we don't do it, it ain't gonna get done. You know, it's a hell of a fight. I mean, y'all ladies know we protest, we argue, we protest in the rain, snow. You know, we out there with our family members of these victims. You know, so you gotta know that this is a dangerous, and you gotta be on it every day, all day long, because once you sleep, the subject is gone. You know, the subject gone. They want this. They want it to die. You know, when we did our first protest, the first thing Kim Worthy said is she hoped this hurry up and blow over, which means okay, it's blown over. They ain't got no more fight. We're gonna go back to doing what we doing, and that's what you can't let happen to Krystal Clark. You know, you can't let them close the door on her again. You got to keep it in the public eye, and then once she's out, you gotta hit them in the pocket. You know, because that's the only thing they understand. That's the only thing that moves the prisoners, the prison system, and politicians. If you put them on notice and everybody knows them, and you hit them in the pocket, they can't take scrutiny, and they can't take going broke.
That's
I
for
want
sure.
to say this. One thing that everybody should know that's watching or listening or whatever, we're talking about Krystal, but we can easily be talking about you. A wrongful conviction can happen to anybody at any time. You are one traffic infraction for being in Huron Valley yourself. That's what people don't get. And then the other part is your tax dollars are paying all these You think, oh, they got people like, oh, they should get $1 million. Guess what? You're paying that million. They get $10 million. Guess what? It's coming from you. MDOC gets all their money from you, the taxpayers. There ain't no middleman. Your money goes straight to them. So this could be you're paying for it, and you should be mad about it. You should be concerned about it. People want to, throw her record in the comments, and they want to say all this negative stuff and even racist stuff. It was just, it went so fast I couldn't even keep up with it. It was just going crazy. I had to stop because I was getting emotional about it. But we're so quick to believe the narrative. Even when my son was wrongly convicted, people would say, well, how you didn't know? And blah, blah, blah. And just, she the mother, that, they'll say anything. You believe the negative narrative before you believe the truth. Like, you're not even open to the truth. Like, just because it says something on a piece of paper doesn't mean that it's true. I'm telling you, it does not mean that. And so we have to understand that if we're saying the system is corrupt, the paperwork is corrupt. The people who wrote the stuff is corrupt. The person that engineered the stop or whatever the event that got you into space is corrupt. We are talking about a agency that has a legacy of corruption. So much so that they was under oversight, federal oversight for years, and probably need to be under it right now. Quiet,
and do need to be under federal oversight.
So we're talking about, the ring of snitches. We're talking about, throwing guns at people's cars. We're talking about sending an innocent 14-year-old kid to prison for something for murders that he didn't do, and these people is still walking among us, and we are questioning everybody else but them. We have to do better. We have to change our mindset so we can change the system mindset. We can't keep on. We cannot. We need to tell our stories. We need to tell our stories because they would tell it in a way that you would be looking like, what is you talking about me? Is that me? They would change the whole narrative and you would be somebody you wouldn't even know yourself. So we're not just talking about Krystal, we're talking about you as well. We're talking about your kids. Trisha wrote to be a post prison post traumatic. I'm suffering from it. And I wasn't there, but I did time with my son. Every
Yeah,
time he called me, it was like I was in there with him. Every
it
time
affects the
I
family.
went in there, I was triggered and felt all the pain of going in there. I feel like I need the therapy as well. I need the bill for me too.
Absolutely. Because guess what? People who are actually doing time with us are suffering the effects of incarceration.
Yeah,
And when we get home with our ticks and our tocks, and we still got shower shoes on, and y'all talking about you free, and we talking about no, we still messed up. When most of us still wake up at 4:30 because it's count time across this country, and y'all wondering what we doing, like we're suffering. And
yeah,
I don't
it affects the family too. I mean,
absolutely it
and
does.
especially as prisoners, if they got a family, a lot of them prisoners don't have a family. A lot of them prisoners are sitting there on their own. A lot of them prisoners don't get commissary. A lot of them prisoners can't make phone calls, and especially the innocent ones. I mean, this is something new for them and everything else, but it attacks the family as well. My dad's 92 years old with dementia. He fought his ass off. You know, this affected him. It really affected him. So this is a thing that we're nothing but numbers to these cops and judges and prosecutors. As long as they close the case, they don't care whose life they destroy. They don't care if it's a family or whatever. And then once you get to the point that you're out and you're trying to sue them, that's when Kim
Oh yeah, that's
Worthy
when
and
the
them have
fight
a
get
problem.
real.
Yeah, the fight is real. Jay, when I was telling you what happened with Lamar, we were supposed to meet with Kim Worthy. Kim Worthy says she'll meet with me, but she won't meet with Mr. Monson because Mr. Monson sued them and won. So I'm still tripping because I'm suing you too. So why you want to meet with me and not meet with him? It's the money. She didn't say that, I'm glad he won because he was innocent. She said that she didn't want to meet with him because he sued him. So she has no feelings for arresting a guy, letting him spend 21 years in prison for a crime he didn't commit, and finally got out. The money he got wasn't wasn't worth 21 years, but finally got out and got on his feet and been able to treat his parents and everybody else. And for the wrong that they did to him. She didn't say that she was sorry for him. Never said she's sorry to anybody.
I
She
haven't
said,
heard nobody say they were sorry yet.
"Yeah, we
Not
just
around
had
here. In other
we just
places
had to
I
give him
have.
some money." Secondly, let me just say this. This is a very important thing. We as parents got to start educating our kids to what to say and what not to say when they're in that situation. Because, like the young lady said, I mean, like you just said, it can happen to anybody at any time. You know, I'm coming home from work and they pulled up on me. I ain't see daylight 10, 15 years later. It can happen to anybody.
Mhm.
So we got to go into these schools or talk to our kids. Let them know this is what you can say, this is what you can't say. You got 72 hours if you got to sit there, twiddle your thumbs. They got to let you go after that. Don't implicate yourself. Don't let them trick you. Don't let them Don't let them do anything that will hurt your chance of coming home.
Yes, because we've been programmed to believe maybe if I talk to them and I tell them,
Right.
what happened, they'll believe me and let me go. No, once you are a subject of an investigation, you are under investigation. Anything you say will and be held against you. When that saying right there is true.
Says
Anything.
everything.
They'll take your story and twist it into something else, and it'll be evidence for them against you.
And you don't know. I mean, one fact you don't know: the police got an open license to lie. They'll tell you that in court. They'll tell you. I mean, well, he can lie to you. It's not wrong for him to lie to you.
The Reed technique.
Mm-hmm.
The Reed technique that was used on us.
Lamar.
And Lamar,
we did a whole story.
Yeah, my whole. I was done with the Reed technique. Lamar, Kendricks, Jesley, Barbara Simon is a master of the Reed technique.
We did a whole podcast on the Reed technique, talked all about Lamar before we even met Lamar.
Do you understand that Steve exposed that in his article? Do you know that they turned around and tried to sue the Metro Times because he exposed that?
Wow. See,
it's an uphill battle. You got people of color in prison, and that's us. You Mexicans and we of color in prison, and like you say, they lock the door and throw away the key because we're not humans once we get behind those.
Once you get in that system.
Bars. Yeah, that's it.
You're a machine. You're a machine for whatever they are making or whatever they got going on in there. So we were talking about like for the healthcare, they got to pay a copay, right? So they paying these companies millions and millions and millions of dollars to provide health care. But the people who, if you need health care, they got to pay a copay. Now, if you make 17 cents an hour a day or whatever, like 80-something cents a day, $15 a month for a woman who might not have family support, that needs women toiletries and stuff like that. You got to decide whether I'm going to see the doctor and pay this $5 or $10, or am I going to get what I need for my physical body in order for me to maintain myself in this space. This is such a high. It's like a robbery.
And you're not seeing a 5-star doctor. You seeing a reject. These doctors, as I told you when I was in, the dentist always wanted to pull your teeth because it's the most economical way for them to do it. Never fill a hole, never send you. They just want to get it over with. You're not seeing no high quality doctor. You're seeing a reject from any hospital, any doctor's office, and everything else, like where you can get a job. So your treatment is shoddy at the beginning. So to pay for it too, that's an insult.
Trisha, go ahead and talk about the reject. So I'll start it off. We were looking up this doctor because this doctor at Huron Valley that won't let Krystal see another doctor, that took away a wheelchair, that has so many excuses why she can't see the specialist. Now, one doctor says she needs to see an infectious specialist because she was diagnosed with MRSA. On top of all the other stuff, she was diagnosed with MRSA. This reject doctor, or 1 year, how long he been out of school? 2, 3 years.
3 years. I mean, like, I want to say it was like 2019.
Right. He just graduated from, so he don't have no supervisor doctor. No, he just the doctor with no experience, no nothing. And he's
listed as a substance use doctor.
That's not
That's
surprising.
Yeah, he's listed as a substance use doctor. And then what's happening is, and we've been hearing this, that a lot of the women walk around there like zombies.
Mm-hmm.
So they just keeping them high, either on the Suboxone, or either on what is it that they what is it, psychotrope, no, psychiatric medicine, right? And so you're just out of it, right? And so let's just say this: Kyle Kamansky Lion Self said that they had the best health care. We have excellent health care, is what he said. So Kyle, if you're watching, because I'm sure by now you are watching our every move. So if you're watching, sir, since you got such good health care down there in MDOC, I want you to take your mama down there. Take your wife down there. Take your kids down there. And y'all get health care by MDOC. And then you can speak about how excellent the health care is.
Well put. Well put.
Leslie, you got something to say?
Y'all already saying it. For real, I just listen. I just thinking about where I was. I was thinking about like where I was 4 years ago versus now, and it's a lot, right? It's a lot to digest. As far as I think the first thing you go to is like, why don't people care, and so forth, so on. But also knowing that, like, I can look back now and see all these different times where, oh, I wish I had known that. I wish I had known this. When my son was going through the first part of his case, because when I look back, it was like a 3-ring circus. I mean, from the lawyers back and forth, somebody excusing themselves, the changing the witness statements, the flipping around with judges. One judge kept falling asleep up there in the chair. I mean, it was just a mess. It was a 3, and I had his information didn't. Then when he was his information wasn't shared from the community mental health system. I contacted the state community mental health. My mom was my help. Mom, I don't know nothing. She don't know nothing about jail or prison, but she tried, and they told her, "Oh, he ain't got no. You don't have no what is it called? He don't have no rights. Prisoners don't have rights." And and then being told you can't say this because that can make it worse. And I wish I had said something sometimes, but then I don't know if it might have made it worse. And so I'm that's one thing that as a mom, like I feel like I'm constantly thinking, should I done something different or whatever? And is all I'm saying is it's like a whole job to be an advocate. It really is. And if it wasn't my son, or like, you know, it was a lot. Like, I don't think that, like, the reason I have capacity for like Krystal is because I've seen it with my son. But if that hadn't happened to me first, because you couldn't have told me that somebody has 70 different grievances. I was like, oh, somebody lying. That would have been me. You know what I'm saying? Somebody lying. One prisoner. What's the common denominator? It must be something they doing. They must be picking with or not shutting up. There's no way that one person that is. Let me see if I say it right. I don't want to say it wrong. One detained citizen could get 70 grievances. That's unrealistic. But now I see it like it's every day. Like, it's right now it's calm a little bit with my son, because mainly because he don't want to fight. He's like, just leave it. And I'm like, but baby, you know what I'm saying? You can't just let anything go. But I also, he's a grown man, so I have to follow his lead as well. But it's everything. He just got his glasses. I'll tell you this story. It was real quick. He just got his glasses yesterday. Now, I first put in the paperwork and sent the money for his glasses because they moved from one cell to the next, and his glasses were no longer there. They said he must have lost, or they got lost in the move. How you lose his glasses from one block to the next block, I will never know. But then, like, the insurance one covers some more, so they wanted me to send the last optometrist um prescription. I sent that in. They said it was too old. I've been going back and forth with him since the end of January of 2024. He literally just got his glasses yesterday, and so he called me today and said, "Mom, I got my glasses. I got to tell you, a lot of these jokers is uglier than I thought they was." Like the rock. Like, but he was so, just happy. But he shouldn't have to be that excited about a pair of eyeglasses. But that's the level of
Prison make
control.
you appreciate little things when you locked up. The little things that you really, really miss and you took for granted, they really, really mean something when you locked up and you happen to come back home for a minute. You come back home, you be like, damn, I missed it. Ooh, man. The little stuff. When they take away your freedom and you gotta go get counted every hour, and your last meal at 5 o'clock, and everything else, you ain't got no commissary. It makes you appreciate the little things in life. And, especially, some of them guys. I had some of my boys that when I finally got out and we got together, and they was wondering, they was like, they seen that I got exonerated, and I went into. I said, I told you I was innocent. And all of them asked me, how did it feel to be innocent and locked up? I said, locked up. Period. Ain't nice. To be innocent, it was just, I mean, awkward. Because all of them did that crime. Um, it's crazy. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, you can go to your grave, or you can get lucky
Yeah.
and get out.
I just think, like, so what's the thing? I don't know what it is. I'm like, what could have got through? And I feel like I don't know. For the general public that doesn't have, and I have had family throughout my life in jail and prison, but what would it take for somebody to see, just to even declare that this is wrong, and um as Dr. Vaughn said, deplorable, even if they don't have somebody in jail or prison, even if they don't know what crime it was, and the who ins and outs, because we could give the whole case for what we could give the whole case for Krystal, and she's absolutely innocent. I mean, it was uh, a nickel dime case in the first place that she should never got. But that's not the point right now. She's suffering, and this is not the point of prison. Like, what is the reason? Who is she? What street is safer because she's in there? If I go out here right now and walk down the street, she ain't gonna be the one I'm scared of.
Well, you know what? It's not that. So sorry. It's not that. Do you know how much money Crystal is worth?
I do
Like,
$35,000, but because of her extra medical expenses, it's more because
yes.
yeah, she's very expensive. Yeah.
Do you know how? Like, I really need you to understand. Like, America is no longer going to Africa to the Beardsley diamond mines. They're locking up black people because we have the same value as gold. Because incarcerating us is money.
Big business.
It is it used to be, before COVID, it was a $70 billion business. It is now $100 billion business, and then you add pharmaceuticals in prisons on top of that. And if you want to know why she can't get free, do you know how much she's worth alive and sick? And then they will send her body home cremated so you can't find out what really happened.
Come on now.
Right? Like,
Mm,
we did this already with Teresa Dunlap. We've
mm,
done this with other people. We've buried other people in prison. Listen, this is economics. This is not color. This is not gender. This is economics. And you know what? We play checkers while racists and white supremacists play chess and capitalism. And this is why I said in the beginning, what are you willing to sacrifice?
mm-hmm.
Black people did the Montgomery boycott for a year. We ain't willing to sacrifice nothing for a day. Because, baby, economic holdout is the only way to get them to pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
We can rally on the side of the road as long as we want to. We can pray to Jesus as long as we want to. They have got us so messed up with praying and talking to somebody. Baby, we are the somebody, and it is us. I'm not round here praying to dead idols talking about come save Krystal. No, it's my job to save Krystal. It's your job to save Krystal. If you woke up in the morning, save our own people. This is cute, but you gotta say what you're willing to sacrifice. And if you ain't willing to sacrifice nothing, don't call none of us. Because we are here taxed. We sacrifice health, family, money, sleep. We sacrifice all of it. And I'll put my body on the line. What are you willing to sacrifice for other people's freedom? You said, how do you get other people who don't have incarcerated families to know this is happening? Hold community conversations on the block.
Mm-hmm.
Have these conversations in the barbershop and in the hair salon. Have these conversations when you're picking up your kids. Black people are the best orators in the world, and we ain't talking about nothing but R. Kelly's trial. And that is not important.
Mm-hmm.
We have got to figure out what we are going to economically withhold in this state and who we are not going to vote for. Because, baby, the power of the vote in 2026 and the redoing of the Constitution, if you're not at the table, you on the menu.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
So change your people, places, and things.
Mm-hmm.
Show up at the Capitol because you pay to be there. And you ain't got to go nowhere because you pay the price.
They
We're
work for
tired
you.
of asking Gretchen. Tell her. We need to be putting resolutions on the floor to call for Kyle and Heidi Washington's job.
Mm.
Stop
ASAP.
thinking you're helpless. You're not. If you put these legislators in office, tell them run these resolutions or we're going to run your ass out. You got one or two choices.
Yes.
Because we are a voting bloc. And we better show up and show them. Kendrick Lamar is not just saying metaphors. Sometimes you got to pop out and show them.
Mm.
It is too much on the line to be docile. And all this money y'all spent on proms and all this damn foolishness, we could have bought attorneys for all these people that we wanted free. So I don't want to hear no foolishness about we ain't got no money.
Mm-hmm.
We are not strategic with our dollars.
It's the
We
truth.
are the reparation for reparations. Just like everybody sent out these texts to help people with $3,000 prom dresses, y'all better be sending these same chain letters for lawyers to get people free.
Mhm.
We don't got no more time for foolishness. If church is a refuge for sick people, all these prison ministries that don't do nothing, make them toe the line. Listen, I'm tired of effery on every level of life. I am tired. We spend the most money out of our community than any other people in the world. And this is why we have mass incarceration.
Mhm.
Because our community is not in poverty, we're mentally impoverished.
Yeah.
So what are we going to say we're not buying, we're not doing in this state until you bring Krystal home, until you bring these innocent people home? We're not going to support anything Gretchen does. And guess what? Formerly incarcerated people are a voting bloc.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
And we got to stop acting like our vote don't matter. And every black mama and every black daddy better understand, I don't care how tired you are from your 310 jobs. Stand for something or you'll fall for everything. Because
Right.
Krystal is my sister. Tamara Washington is my sister. The
Mhm.
men in Coldwater are my brothers. One band, one sound.
Mhm.
We're not waiting for somebody to come lead us. And I'm tired of talking about our ancestors. I'm on the line with Harriet. I'm on the line with Sojourner. I'm on the line with
Yes.
Nat Turner. Why do I have to recreate people and we are here?
Mhm.
God built every generation for a time such as this. And it's up to us to give them hell and send them back to hell. Because this is some racist and white supremacy bullshit. And we're not making them toe the line. I don't care who has control of the House and the Senate. It's our House and it's our Senate. And we pay for it.
Mhm.
So just because we got white faces, we can paint their faces black and we're going to play jigaboo and the spook that's set by the door and they are going to have to mind us. Krystal has to come home. This prison has to be shut down and inoperable. And Gretchen has to be brought to her knees because she's on the wrong side of history.
Mm. I
And we
just
need
said.
to go back and do legislation to make it so that these legislators can get in this prison when they feel like it.
Uh-huh.
MDOC should not have this much power unchecked.
That's right.
Yes. I just
We
said
need to be
this
calling
morning.
for UN sanctions.
Mm-hmm.
Malcolm X said World Court is the only court for black people. And we don't use it. Shame on us.
Yeah.
I just said this morning, Shawanna, that Dana Nassau is always on the wrong side of history. Forever on the wrong side of history. And I don't know what she look what she did to Flint. You know what I'm saying? We need to, first of all, we gotta care enough about ourselves so we can care about somebody else. We don't we so distracted. We got our fans in our hand. We on the Diddy trial. We on everything else, but the things that affect us personally and our family and our children. They had a whole couple of judges that were sending kids to prison because they were getting paid. They was getting paid by the prisons for every kid that they sent in there, whether they did it or not. They were sending kids for just jaywalking, just crazy stuff. And guess what? Somebody gave them a pardon before he left office. Them people shouldn't have got no pardon while they were selling your kid to a prison. But see, we are so distracted. We talking about Larry Hoover, and Larry Hoover still got to serve 200 years in prison.
Mm-hmm.
We got to get focused on what is the main thing, and the main thing is you, your family, your community, because they use all of us to build whatever thing that's important. Those phone calls, those robocalls, those mattresses they make, and all that stuff that they're doing inside these facilities. They need people, and that's why they in there like that, and that's why they keep doing this, because just like you said, they're dollars to them. How much is you worth? What they making in there? You know how much they worth by what they making in there.
Can I may I address some that came through the comments a couple times? Well, one is about how to donate to or give money to Krystal, and one is you put the address is there. You see that number 435-064. So how you put money on is you go to the website connectnetwork.com. So CONNECT and then you find the facility, you find the person in the facility using her number, the 435-064. And then you have to put in your credit card information, and then you can make a payment under, it's called a trust, like a trust fund. And so you can put money directly on her books that way. Also, the movement has a Zephy account, which is similar to a GoFundMe, but with better tracking, because Survivor Speaks is the is handling that account, and that's on the link tree, which is at, oh, you got it. Oh, it's the link tree is under link tree, and it's at Krystal,
Oh,
fighting
I
for
got it.
Krystal. Yeah, you can't see it. You can't see the donation link. It's donate to help save the life of Krystal Clark, I think, under then Zephy is ZEFFY.com. Um, that comes up a lot with family and stuff. I didn't know, it was a while I didn't know how to put, it's all these different systems. There's one system to put money on the phone, another system to do jail calls, another for prison calls, another for snacks. I mean, it's like yeah, and not to mention my credit card has been compromised several times because I have to put my credit card in everywhere. So but Connect Network hasn't given me any trouble so far. Then I also she asked a couple times about the weed. Weed is not an issue really at MDOC anymore because all of the weed offenses have been taken away. But how it still affects folks is if your initial crime was weed, for instance, even if they a weed offense, even if they took it away, all the stuff that was connected to, like, so my son, he had a weed offense, but it was like right at that brink of when they had changed the law, so they gave him obstructing justice or something like that. Like they they just switched it over to a different type of penalty. So
they rebranded it into something else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Go ahead, Rabbitier. Your mic is not on.
Doing it. I keep doing it. Should know this by now. Oh, this conversation is really good, and I really want to commend everyone that is commenting because we've made some strong comments. Dr. Shawanna has, Trisha, everyone has, and I really want people to understand the hypocrisy of the system. Okay, so I want to break this down because I did do some research because y'all know I be researching. Okay, So the evolution, so we're starting with NDOC's prison healthcare contracts, okay? And just remind yourselves and know that this is a contract. Shawanna was saying how much money is involved. Each prisoner is worth an amount. This is just slavery that has been translated into a system. So Horizon Health had the contract from 1998 to 2021, and that was based in Tennessee. They held the MDOC contract for prison health care. Now, I'm just looking at the health care. Now, mind you, there's a lot of contracts when it comes to the prison system. So the company faced numerous lawsuits and allegations of inadequate care, including a $6.4 million verdict in 2022 related to a prisoner's death. Of course, they're not telling you that. Grand Prairie Health Services and WellPath had the contract then from 2021 to 2024. In 2021, MDOC awarded a $590 million 5-year contract to Grand Prairie Health Services. Okay, now this company was owned by Dr. Dean Reiger. They partnered with WellPath. Okay, they partnered with WellPath, a management services organization formed in 2018 through the merger of Correct Care Solutions and Correctional Medical Group companies. Notably, Dr. Reiger was previously an executive at Correct Care Solutions. Despite the new contract, WellPath's involvement meant that many of the same corporate entities continue to provide services under different names. The continuity raised concerns about the effectiveness of the change and the potential for ongoing issues. They didn't stop them. Due to breaches of contract, this is 2024 to the present time, VitalCore, including failure to pay. Okay, so this also happened. So due to breaches of contract, including failure to pay, subcontractors approximately $35 million, MDOC terminated its agreement with GPHS and WellPath in 2024. The state then entered into an assignment agreement with Vital Care Health Strategies, which took over the contract in May of 2024. Now, the prison system has, and it's documented, they have a pattern of rebranding among prison healthcare providers. They just rename it. Correct Care Solutions merged with Correctional Medical Group companies to form WellPath in 2018. Horizon Health underwent a corporate restructuring in 2023, splitting into two entities, Horizon and CHS, and they have CHS Texas. Anyway, they retained most of the original company's assets and contracts and was later acquired by Yes Care, a company also led by Horizon's CEO. All they're doing is changing the name, getting into contract with other people or other entities, but still the basic structure, the basic players are still the same. And they have a history of a failure to pay subcontractors. And this continues to lead to legal action. Now, why? Why would we want to stay in relationship with this? Thanks, Jay. We're on the same page.
And you know what? The
What's
legislature
that?
approved the contracts.
Yes, they do.
I know because they approved mine. So
Kyle
guess what?
Kaminsky was just up there defending this.
Saying healthcare is great, right?
Who said that? Who was defending it?
Kyle
Kyle
Kaminsky.
Kaminsky, because there was like a whole hearing on this very thing. I want to say it was like the earlier part of May or was the end of April. And they were asking about why these contracts hadn't been paid because they had outsourced to different people, but the people were reporting back that they hadn't got paid. It made me think about you, Shawanna, because you got money on a contract from the state, but because Kyle Kamansky was over it, what happened? You didn't get what you were supposed to get.
No. And my contract is ended. And I did not.
Illinois is ended.
I did not get the 400. I did not spend $400,000. I barely spent 100,000. And it's because I protest too much, and I won't play nice because I don't dance for dollars, and I'm unbought and unbossed. And sometimes they only want to give money to people that want to do nothing.
Yeah.
And so
challenge them.
It's hard to get money if you really want to change the status quo. When they tell you, don't talk bad against them, don't do another rally. I said, well, that's not what I'm here for. I did not come to Michigan to be nice to the MDOC. I came to help the people that are not free. So I'm okay with you not renewing my contract. Because the same way God lets you, he'll let somebody else.
That part.
And we got to be willing not to dance for dollars so we don't sell our own people into slavery. We are not the Senegalese. And we will not be selling Black Americans to the MDOC to get in a state budget or to get a contract and to get a couple of dollars. We will not. And we will toe the line. And we will find money because, baby, I was here 20 years when it was the Chitlin circuit and we was riding Greyhound bus to get to other prisons to stand up for other people. We have not evolved to be good enough that we don't have to go back to sleeping at Motel 6 and riding Greyhound and protesting across this country to stand for each other.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
I met Trichet in a blizzard on the side of the road at Gus Harrison Prison. And we've been stomping the yard ever since. Why? Because these men told me to get on a plane from New York and come help them. Now, either we're going to be about our father's business or we're going to be on bullshit. But we better pick.
I drove out there, feel like
those of us who really do the work are broke.
Right.
We are broke with no health plan, with no retirement plan. And I lay in hospitals on my back as much as I stand on my feet. But what I do understand is as long as I got breath, I am going to be about liberation and Black people business. We are our ancestors to be about Black people business. And so for the people out here who are on BS and they don't support what we support, that's cool. We fine. But as for us, we are not going to shut up. We are going to be louder than the noise and the rhetoric because people are depending on us to get them home.
Yes.
That's right. That's right.
Because none of us is free until we all are free.
That's right.
If one of us are locked up, we are all locked up. And I'm not even an abolitionist. But there are some people who are medically frail and over sentenced and just damn innocent. And they gotta be released.
Yeah.
We owe people a just society because Lady Liberty and the scales of justice are a lie. She's not blind. She sees black and brown. I'm poor. And we need to legislate and do resolutions and make them take them. We need to make the people that we elected, that we call our friends, that we show up for. They better fan their way down that aisle and introduce these resolutions.
That's right.
Because I don't
Now,
have
I'm
no
gonna
more
tell
time
you
for where your
something
fans
about them
at.
fans. I'm gonna have me. I'm gonna work, but I'm gonna fan too.
I know
Yeah.
that's right. As long as I don't fall down trying to get the moves right, but I'm gonna try.
Listen, well, we gonna fan the Lansing and get them legislators to introduce these resolutions.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You got
okay,
that
you can do
part.
that. You
That
can do
part.
that.
Yeah, let's do that.
You know, while we
Let's do that.
holding rallies at Huron Valley, we need to be holding rallies on Michigan Avenue in Lansing in front of the MDOC and shut that street down where they can't even go to work.
Yeah.
Mm.
What are
Mm-hmm.
you willing to sacrifice?
That's right. That's right.
Because if we gridlock Lansing in Michigan Avenue on a Monday morning, baby, let me tell you what that'll get you. A whole bunch of somebody's gonna have to understand.
June
Mm-hmm.
23rd. Stay tuned.
Let's
Yeah.
go. Let's go. Because faith without works is dead. Now we
Mm.
need to raise bail money. Because I'm going to assure you we're going to jail. And if you don't like handcuffs, I'm sorry, you better this ain't for you. You stay at home. Okay? If you don't want to be Malcolm and the Martin that got arrested, the one that wasn't talking about get slapped, then this ain't the rally for you.
Mm-hmm.
Now you make the
Mm-hmm.
sandwiches and send them on. Cause
Yeah.
somebody gonna have to go to jail. And you gotta choose who you gonna be that day. You gonna bring the juice and the sandwiches and sit them down and say this ain't for me? Cool. You gonna be the one that help raise the bail money? Cool. I'm the one ready to go to jail. So you decide who you gonna be in this story. You gonna bring the sandwiches? You gonna bring the money? You gonna bring the juice? Or you going to jail too?
I'm gonna
Now.
bring the sandwiches that day. I forgot my baby graduating on the 23rd. We either gotta reschedule or I gotta bring the sandwiches. I can't go to jail on the 23rd.
I was thinking like, well,
Wait,
let's
that's
see
like
what
we was
happens.
at the protest with Freedom Ain't Free. And I mean, I was just bold, and the man was trying to tell me where to stand. And I'm like, per the ACLU and blah, blah, blah. And he like, ma'am, and he just, he was getting so mad. And I just was firm, like, I'm going to do what I want to do. And then that joker pulled his coat back. And I seen them handcuffs. I said, okay.
Because you gotta decide. You gotta decide. I mean, and we are literally in an administration that does not believe we have the right to protest.
That's right.
We
That's right.
have an administration that believes that the cops should be able to kill us and go
Mm-hmm.
home and eat dinner. So when I tell you I am not playing, what are you willing to put on the line?
Yeah.
Because guess what? We do got some allies. There are some women
Yeah.
who will lay their bodies across for us. But are we willing to show up?
Yeah. Yeah.
We cannot be talking about allies when we talking about everything is inconvenient for us.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Freedom is not free.
That's right.
And I really do not want y'all playing with me and my good fresh heart attack because I'm saying I'm willing to put some handcuffs on. Don't play with
Mm-hmm.
me. Don't call me if you're not willing to go. Because guess what? There's a cost for freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Our ancestors did not play around with it. They
Mm-hmm.
died for it.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't willing to miss your nail appointment. We talking about trivial BS. Are we talking
Mm-hmm.
about freedom? Because you got to decide. Because I can't decide for you who you are in the story, but you got to know who you are and if you willing to come stand or if you going to go hide in the corner. But when it's your family, I don't want it. I want you to keep that same energy when you hide in the corner.
Yeah.
I want to play
Don't
this
call
video.
us. Keep that same energy.
Right.
Because if you won't stand for other people's freedom, I won't stand for you.
I know that's
That's right.
right. Let me
So
play Krystal Sister.
Hey everybody, this is Tyronda Clark, Krystal Clark's sister. My sister is locked up here at Women's Huron Valley facility in Ypsilanti, Michigan. My sister, my mother, we're here visiting her today. I can say that we did have a great visit. However, Krystal is in desperate need of serious medical attention. We are asking that everybody please continue to fight for her, to please continue to reach out to the governor, to pray for her. She sends her support and says thank you to everybody. She's trying to stay in great spirits. It's just heartbreaking. We can see, the mole growing out of her ears. Her ears are like almost closed. We're just asking that you all just please continue to help, continue to pray, and to continue to just fight for her. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're going to continue to fight. We're going to continue to put these people on blast. We're going to continue to bug these legislators. If we text, one day I was on a rant. It felt like I was on a rant because I couldn't stop texting. It was like every phone call was something new. And then we're going to uplift these stories of these women because their voices are gone unheard. They're overshadowed by the voices of the men. And I'm not saying that the men are not important and what they're going through is not important, but there's only one prison in Michigan for these women. And it's a hot garbage mess. And it needs to be shut down. It needs to be closed. They need to figure it out. They got the money, figure it out. They don't need to build a new one. Figure it out. We shouldn't even be thinking about paying for nothing new. We need to let them figure it out, and we need to let them go. The numbers are saying crime is down. Now, we don't know crime is down because we always looking at 2, 4, and 7, and that's how they get views. Because you watch the latest news, the latest car chase, the latest, police chase, the latest whatever. Meanwhile, the numbers are not saying that. But what is going on in Michigan, Michigan is one of the states to give the longest sentences. Yeah. And so, meanwhile, crime might be down, but they're getting an extra 5 piece to go with the nuggets. So that's what's happening around here. And so we have to, hey, this could be you. We said this in the beginning. We're saying it now close to the end, that this could be you. It's your time to shine. Yeah. Don't get distracted by all the glitz and the glamour and the pardons. Those are federal pardons. They don't have nothing to do with the state. If he could pardon her, don't you think we'll be over there asked to be like Kanye up in there trying to get in there and get her a pardon? He can't do that. We need the governor to do that. We need the prosecutor to commute this sentence. She can commute it and rechange it and let her come. We need somebody who is capable of letting her come home to let her come home, because she's a mother, she's a grandmother, she's a sister, she's a daughter, she's a person. She is just like anybody else that you walk into every day. You could be talking to Krystal. So we just wanted to have this this conversation, because the reality of what's going on there is real. It's crazy. The stories are saddening. Me and Trisha been hearing all kinds of stuff. Even, people reaching out saying, hey, I've been calling the governor. I've been sending letters, and we appreciate that. Thank you. Because we need all hands on deck for these women. They're mothers too. They're sisters too. They're us. Trisha, let's go to the main events that's going on next month. Next month is what? Sunday? It's almost here.
I know. I'm like, where did this time go? But yeah, we are gearing up for Ypsilanti's fifth annual Juneteenth celebration. And officially, it's June the 21st and 22nd. Although Survivor Speak will be coming with an action on the 20th. We are going to be taking Juneteenth to the roadside. We got to go back to the roadside and have a freedom rally for the women at Women's Huron Valley Prison. We will get that information out soon. But the June 21st and 22nd, man, it's going to be an amazing day. Saturday, we got headlining Lady Sunshine and the X Band. And we got Gwyneth Hayes, Nikki Gio, Elise King. Sharice. We have Prince Mark Jacob. And I better not forget to say nobody's name, because I'm telling you, you don't say people's names, they be on your head. But we have some amazing artists with us on that Saturday. And of course, we got vendors, we got the food truck area, we got the kids corner and the youth takeover that's happening. So the youth gonna take the stage in the beginning and do their thing till about 12:45. And then we're gonna have the opening ceremony about 1 o'clock. So you don't want to miss coming down to the University Bank Commerce Center at 301 West Michigan Ave in Ypsi 48197. We're gonna be in that parking lot takeover. Bring your comfy chair. We'll have a few chairs, but you might want to bring your comfy chair so you can kick it into the way you want. And then on Sunday, glory to the, y'all know who he is, man. It's the Grammy Award-winning gospel artist Fred Hammond. That's Sunday, June the 22nd at 3 p.m. We have some amazing artists and ministers that are going to come in and minister that day, man. Just shout out to our presenting sponsors, University Bank and the city of Ypsilanti, and all the amazing sponsors, because this would not be possible without them. And again, that's Sunday at 3 p.m. Although Sunday at 1 p.m., we're going to have our annual Juneteenth service that's going to be led by Pastor Daniel Jackson from Love Washington, Pastor Mike Robinson from Ypsilanti Community Church. Look, this is going to be one weekend that you don't want to miss. We are going to celebrate our beautiful Blackness amongst all of our siblings, right? Because we're going to have people out there of every ethnic background. I'm just uplifting freedom and what freedom means to them. So we hope you'll join us.
And speaking of Fred Hammond,
Ypsilanti, this is your man, Uncle Fred. Fred Hammond is in the building. Listen, I'm on the way. I'm coming. That's right. We on the way. Juneteenth weekend. We showing up. We're going to show on out. So come on out and hang out with your mans and them and many other people that's going to be there. And we just going to have an amazing time. Looking forward to coming back to the crib. That's right, because y'all were just up the road. I used to hang out in Ypsilanti a little bit here and there. And, but listen, I look forward to seeing you all. Let's have a great time. Peace.
I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you.
yay.
We did it.
And then also, you guys, we have this petition.
Oh, I signed it.
Yes. We asking everyone to go to change.org, hold MDOC accountable, and sign the petition, please.
Yes.
We need your help. We need to stand together. And these are, when somebody asks, what can they do? You can sign the petition. Here it is. So just, the petition, get that signed. Show up at Juneteenth. We have the link tree. There's so many things you can do. Like Shawanna said, you're going to bring the sandwiches. You're going to show up. There's a job for everybody. Figure out which one that you're going to do, and, let's get it done. So, without any further ado, if we don't have any other messages for tonight. Oh, and our call to action. I forgot to. Our call to action is: you have a power to save a life. We need Krystal released now. Contact the Governor Whitmore's office. Send an email, a letter of support, a Krystal Clark request for medical clemency, Gretchen Whitmore at michigan.gov, or Office of the Governor, State of Michigan, George W. Romley, Building 111 South Capitol Avenue, Lansing, Michigan 48909. This is our call to action. Everyone, like we said, there's a job for everyone. Find your spots and do what you need to do. Yeah. Go ahead, Trisha.
I want to say one thing. This work requires money. This work requires us to have the resources that we need, even if it's not money, in-kind donations, So I would just say that not just for Survivor Speak, not just for Silent Cry, not just for turning a moment into a movement, but for any organization that you believe in and that you can, please support. Because as Shawanna was stating, look, nobody's getting rich off nonprofit work. All this money is being put back into the upbuilding of the kingdom and to help people. And what made me just think about that as I looked on the petition, and because we got so many clicks in a certain amount of time, we're up to 46. Yay. But because we got so many clicks in a certain amount of time, they gave us 500 views, free views, where they'll put the petition out before 500 people. But then other people started giving. So somebody gave $5 and they're going to get 46 views. Somebody gave $20 and that pays for 182 views, right? So whether it's through this petition, whether it's through these organizations, and even helping the fundraiser with Krystal, which is on her link tree, or sending her money directly. A lot of people don't know what they can do. That's something that can be done. Not everybody can battle the front lines. I'm disabled. I've been disabled since 2004. I can't believe that I've been, with whatever this is, because I don't want to claim it as it's my own either, right? But this work is not easy. And so I just want to salute everybody that shows up, everybody that sacrifices and lays it on the line. Because like Shawanna said, you got to be willing to sacrifice something. You got to be willing to lose to win again. And it's all in how you look at it. Because what do you really lose if you really ain't free? Just think about
Yeah. That's a fact, sis. And right now, like I told you, I'm trying to build an alignment table. I'm trying to raise at bare minimum $50,000 because we don't have the money. And we got health issues. We got bill issues. We just got life. And there's no cushion. And we suffer in silence too.
Right.
We suffer in silence too. And I just said, I'm having to retrain people on how to treat me because I've been giving away stuff out of my house in storages so long. These people have lost their minds. And they ask you for things. And I said, well, where is gratuity? And they just look at you crazy. And I'm like, well, go to Amazon, go to the mall. Because when we out here and we can't pay for storages and medication and we ain't got insurance and nobody's helping us, this is unacceptable.
Yeah.
And we are all helping each other and we all the same broke. Make it make sense. So I think we should build alignment tables with other people who have money. And my first way of doing it is I'm going through the donor list of the politicians. If you gave to that, can you give to this?
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Wow.
Thank you, Shawanna. Thank you for joining us.
Shawanna.
Yes, thank you so much, ladies. It was such a good night with y'all.
Yeah.
Yes.
We needed this. We needed
Yes,
this.
we
Yes.
Yeah. We
Good night,
needed
so
this.
Deshay. I love you.
Yeah.
good night, and
Love
good
Good
you.
night,
night, people.
and good night, everybody.
Good
Good
night.
night, everyone.
Just a light of mine. I'm gon' let it shine. I'm gon' let it shine. Just a light of mine. Just a light of mine. I'm gon' let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gon' let it shine. I'm gon' let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gon' let it shine. I'm gon' let it shine. Oh Lord, just let it shine. This light of mine, this light of mine. Oh Lord, would you please just let it shine. Take the drama out of my life. Oh Lord, every night the pain ain't right. I wake up at night, I never sleep. 26, 10, and 7, that's just me. Every day I need a little seed. I need a little fresh air, man, I need to breathe. All I know is trauma, all I know is tickets. All I know is no visit. All I know is a mission to get straight up out of prison. Lord have mercy for it. Lord have mercy on my people. Preacher Mary Washington and all my real. Lord have mercy with my people. I pray to God, we really need you. When I was down bad, when things weren't going right, every time I prayed at night, I put my hands up in my face. I said, Lord have mercy, little light of mine. Lord God, please let it shine. It's the drama that I live in my life. I swear to God, I was a bad guy every night. 10 toes down, salute. Everybody suffering, everybody who trying to make a way. Everybody looking for the sky, everybody looking for that piece of pie. In a law library, I know what that feel like. Hoping that somebody get active and involved in your situation. Man, pop your collar and pray. Cause Lord have mercy on my soul. And they make bad guy father get out soon. And the rest of those brothers who be mobbing to child each morning. Oh man, I ain't going to this afternoon. Man, I'ma miss dinner today. I got a cup of noodles. You know what that feel like? Do you know what it is? And if you a victim of a wrongful conviction, suffered and served by Ken Worthy, then I know that you know what that pain feel like. And your mama know what that pain feel like. Your father know what that pain feel like. With that light, let that little shine. Let that light shine, a little light of mine. Bad guy, Doughboy Week, all these great people in this great world of ours. 10 toes down, salute. I appreciate you, bad guy. I appreciate you, Week. I appreciate the tech. I appreciate everybody in the studio. We gonna pop off that LV, ooh-wee, because that's what they be liking to see. But I hope you hear the missing when you see me fresh. Salute.